This video will focus on processing uncertainties when values are multiplied, divided, or raised to a power. We first need to consider the three different types of uncertainties: absolute, fractional, and percentage. The absolute uncertainty on a measurement is the range in which the measurement is uncertain. For example, this is a measurement for a resistance R with an absolute uncertainty of 0.1 ohms. This is indicated with a delta in front of the variable. This means the highest value is 7.5 plus 0.1, which is 7.6 ohms, and the lowest value of R is 7.5 minus 0.1, which is 7.4 ohms. The true value of the resistance lies in between these. This is the uncertainty we sum if measurements are added or subtracted. Both the uncertainty and the measurement must have the same units. The fractional uncertainty, also called the relative uncertainty, is the uncertainty as a fraction of the measurement. In this case, it is 0.1, the uncertainty, divided by 7.5, the measurement, which is 0.013. Since both the uncertainty and the measurement have the same units, the fractional uncertainty has no units. The percentage uncertainty is the uncertainty as a percentage of the measurement. This is the fractional uncertainty multiplied by 100. In this case, it is 0.013 times 100, which is 1.3%. It is important to recognize the different types of uncertainties when it comes to combining them. We'll now see how the percentage uncertainty is used. When measurements are multiplied or divided, the rule here is that the uncertainty of the final value is the sum of the percentage uncertainty of each value. Let's see an example of multiplication. Here is a circuit with a resistor or resistance R. The potential difference of the resistor is measured with a digital voltmeter to be 10.35 volts plus or minus 0.01 volts. An ammeter measures the current in the circuit to be 2.47 plus or minus 0.01 amps. We want to calculate the power in the circuit, which is the product of the potential difference and the current. This equals 25.56 watts. To determine the uncertainty on the power, since the potential difference and the current are multiplied, we must add their percentage uncertainties. The percentage uncertainty is the fractional uncertainty times by 100. This is the uncertainty divided by the value for both the potential difference and the current. This is equal to 0.5%. Therefore, the final power is 25.6 watts plus or minus 0.5%. You won't have to memorize this rule, as it is noted in your data booklet. Y is the combined uncertainty, with A and B being the values multiplied. What if you were asked for the absolute uncertainty of the power instead? We can determine this from the definition of the percentage uncertainty. This is the absolute uncertainty divided by the value times 100. Rearranging for the absolute uncertainty gives the percentage uncertainty divided by 100 times the value. In other words, we are finding 0.5% of 25.6 watts. Therefore, we divide 0.5 by 100 and multiply by the value, 25.6, which equals 0.128 watts. From the appropriate rounding of uncertainties, this should be 0.13 watts. The power is now 25.56 watts plus or minus 0.13 watts. Note that with knowing the absolute uncertainty, we can express the power to the appropriate precision to match the decimal places in the uncertainty. Let's prove that this combined uncertainty works. The power is calculated from the product of the potential difference and the current. This means the upper limit of the power is the product of the upper limit of the potential difference and the upper limit of the current. This is 25.69 watts. Similarly, the lower limit of the power is the product of the lower limit of the potential difference and the lower limit of the current. This is 25.43 watts. So the power is realistically in between 25.69 watts and 25.43 watts. This is 25.56 watts plus or minus 0.13 watts, as the rule intended. Here's an example of values which are multiplied, divided, and raised to a power. For the uncertainty in a value raised to a power, the only change is that we now need to multiply the percentage uncertainty by that power. This is because when a value is raised to a power, for example a cubed, it is that value multiplied by itself 3 times, and we add the percentage uncertainties when combining values which are multiplied. Here's an example of a pendulum, where the length of the pendulum is measured with a ruler and the period for one oscillation is measured with a stopwatch. The period of a pendulum is defined by this equation. The experiment involves calculating the gravitational field strength and seeing how close it is to the true value. By rearranging for the gravitational field strength, we get this equation. The average length measured is 1 plus or minus 0.01 meters, and the average period is 2.01 plus or minus 0.02 seconds. By substituting in the values, we find a gravitational field strength of 9.8 meters per second squared, which is the expected value. Since the length and the period are divided, we must add their percentage uncertainties to get the uncertainty in the gravitational field strength. However, remember we have the period squared. This means we multiply the percentage uncertainty for the time t by 2. This equals an uncertainty of 3%, and a final value for the gravitational field strength is 9.8 meters per second squared plus or minus 3%. Again, this rule is noted in your data booklet. The combined uncertainty if a value is to a power is a power times a fractional or percentage uncertainty. You may need to convert a square root or cube root into a power. However, the rule is still the same. Take, for example, a cube with a volume of 10 centimeters cubed plus or minus 0.6 centimeters cubed. The length of one side would be the cube root of 10 centimeters, which is the same as 10 to the power of a third. This is equal to 2.2 centimeters. Therefore, the uncertainty is still the power, but this time a third times the percentage uncertainty. This is equal to 2%. If we were cubing the length of one side to get the volume, we would multiply the fractional or percentage uncertainty by 3, but because we are cube rooting it, it makes sense that instead we are dividing by 3. Therefore, the length of one side is 2.2 centimeters plus or minus 2%. If instead you wanted the area, you would need to take the square root and therefore halve the percentage uncertainty